Oh, well, we have some great news. Fantastic news for this week for the Philadelphia Eagles on the bye week and doing a lot of things. He is back, guys, and we are ready for him to return. We're going to be talking about the roster moves for the Philadelphia Eagles and the coordinators, the offensive coordinators, and it's kind of slim pickings, but who's left and who could the Eagles hire to replace Kellen Moore? We'll talk about it, so let's get into it.
A killer buried, but not dead.
Darren, we better turn around. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. Hope everyone's enjoying themselves. This video is sponsored by BetUS. Definitely go check them out if you guys have not. We have a lot to discuss here. Okay, roster moves for the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles had practice on Thursday. Since we have opened the practice window for tight end C.J. Usama and defensive end Brandon Graham. They signed a running back, Lou Nichols, to the practice squad, released tight end Nick Muse from the practice squad. So, first of all, I wonder if they're going to use a fullback in this game. Okay, because we know, they were using Calcaterra for a little bit, and now, they signed, Bari Blazing Game. They signed him to fullback. They've used him a little bit here and there, but nothing much. But it seemed like Usama was doing pretty good at fullback. They were using him a lot when he was available. Then ended up getting hurt, and that's when they signed Kari Blazing Game. So wondering what the fullback position is going to look like if they are going to run a fullback in this game, in this Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see what goes on with that. But the biggest news coming out of it is Brandon Graham is officially back at practice. Okay, he's back. Okay, now after practice, he definitely said if there are no setbacks, he'll be ready to go. But guys, he was in warm-ups. He was actually doing some pass rush drills as well. That's a really good sign. I mean, I know he's wearing that big brace thing on his arm. Kind of test himself out, see how he feels, and I'm so glad he's getting on the field this week, because he'll have a few days next week. So it's nice and early. It's not like he's coming back into an NFC Championship game or something like that where they have to rush him within a week for a game because of this bye week. It's they give him so much more time. And we know, the mentorship he's brought to this defensive line, especially the production of Nolan Smith. What he's going to be in the heavy rotation, obviously. So you're hoping he's going to produce in this Super Bowl. But from a mindset, mental standpoint of him being on the field, uplifting the guys, just from his presence is just one of the biggest things that, he wins the Eagles win a Super Bowl. He rides into the sunset with a second ring on his finger. And you know what? We're all going home really happy here, really happy. So was really happy about Brandon Graham. And I didn't know how it was going to go, really, but I'm glad he actually did as much as he did at practice. And this is a really good sign going forward. So feel really good about that. Now, the coordinator stuff, the stuff that we don't want to talk about. And I'm going to always update you guys on things regarding the coordinator position with Kellen Moore, most likely, unless something changes and the Saints hire somebody else for the head coaching job. I don't see Kellen Moore getting out of this. He is the favorite as of right now. Already 3 meetings, and obviously the last meeting was an in-person meeting on Monday. That meeting ran from Monday night and to the next day into the evening. I mean, that's how long it was. Okay, so Kellen Moore has wanted a head coaching job since 2020. He almost had the Eagles job in 21 when Nick was hired. So let's just say he's gone. And it sucks, guys, because it's like we're focusing on a Super Bowl right now. This is going on, and you're just like, man, I'm just tired of this. I think we're just all sick of this at this point. So what do you do here, man? I mean, who becomes the coordinator? Do they promote someone from within? I don't think so. Kevin Patullo is passing game coordinator. I've seen his name float around a little bit. Definitely not. I don't think that's going to be the case. People were saying Frank Reich, too friendly with Nick. I don't know. I don't know what he has done even with the Colts too, but I don't know. You know what I mean? unfortunately, sometimes when these coordinators become head coaches, and I think Frank Reich is a play caller. I mean, I think he's a play caller. When he went to the Colts, when he went to obviously the Panthers, so he's been to a couple teams. He's been to a couple teams already. You can't rely too much on these guys going to other teams as head coaches. How much say do they have on decision making? And every organization is different, and sometimes their success or their downfalls are not their fault when they have no control over certain things. It's a really weird thing because, like I said, every organization does things different. So I'm not really big on the Frank Reich train too much. I really haven't been. I don't. I really hope that's not like the first case that they just go to Frank Reich and give him that, because I'm really just not a fan of it at all. Eric Bieniemy's another one. I know Washington fans were bitching about him a couple years ago when he really wasn't using players to their highest degree. Really, they were really wasn't using players to the success rate that he should have brought them, especially Jahan Dotson, and the running game. And I know that the Washington players had issues with him when he was there, with all the success with Andy Reid and KC. And obviously KC was KC's game plan, and whether it was more Andy or more Eric Bieniemy over there, I don't know. But he took off from NFL coaching. He's been coaching in college for the past year. And I honestly don't even know how I feel about this one, to be honest. I don't feel comfortable about that one. The one I probably feel the most comfortable about, that probably makes more sense, is Bobby Slowick. Okay. Bobby Slowick was a very hot coaching candidate a couple years ago. Okay. I don't know why the Texans fired him. I honestly don't. I mean, offensively, the good thing about him is he loves running the football. Number one, loves running the football. Okay. The number two thing I was kind of confused on why he got fired is, like, you were missing Tank Dell, you were missing Stephon Diggs, you were missing 2 wide receivers going to the playoffs. Okay? CJ Stroud, he's all right. I mean, can he get better? Sure, obviously. But to fire a coordinator just after, getting into the playoffs, I don't get why this firing even happened in the first place. Maybe Texans fans know more, because I don't follow this team all year. I don't follow this team in all the news and inside stories and things like that. So I'm trying to think about other names. Do the Eagles go after a young coordinator, someone that has, you don't want to get somebody so young that it's going to take a few years for them to actually be a good coordinator. You know what I mean? You want to get somebody that has, that is an underdog coordinator that might pull out some really good things with this roster. This way you can have them in the building a lot longer. And that's really the big problem. You get a guy with a lot of experience, he's out the door. You know what I mean? Since Kellen Moore's going to the Saints, Mike McCarthy backed out, is going to literally not do any coaching and take the year off. And Joe Brady from the Bills looks like he's going to stay for another year with the Bills. It's really slim pickings right now. So it looks like Kellen Moore's going to be gone, and there's only so much out there unless they get somebody from the college ranks, or I have no idea, but they got to be really careful with this. It's already enough that I'm pissed off that they have to get Jalen Hurts can never stay in some consistent coaching game plan every year. It'd be so much easier to have the same terminology and be with the same guy for a few years. We can't keep a coordinator in the building more than 1 to 2 years. 3 different coordinators the last, few years is absolutely ridiculous. And I've been saying this nonstop. So I honestly don't know who. There's probably a few other guys that are available. I know Ken Dorsey's another one that was with the Browns. I think he's going to be it looks like he might be the coordinator for the Cowboys from what it looks like. So they need a coordinator right now, and they're looking for one. So realistically, I think Bobby Slowick might be the best example. I honestly don't know why he was even fired. I just don't. Because that was probably the most surprising one to me. So that's where we're at with Bobby Slowick, the coordinator position, where this thing could go. But really the big news, and what we have to really concentrate on, is the Super Bowl. And getting Brandon Graham back has been the biggest thing possible for this team and this rotation. And wonder what the depth chart is going to look like. If Bryce Huff's even going to have more snaps at this point, I I don't know, because you know Josh Sweat needs snaps and Nolan Smith needs a ton of snaps. You're not taking snaps away from Nolan, okay? But this is fantastic news. Let me know what you guys think about Brand Graham coming back and, how he's going to practice this week. And what are your thoughts about him coming back? You think it messes up the mojo, or do you think it's just going to be an added great thing for the Super Bowl, for the depth at the defensive line? And let me know what you guys think about coordinator. Who would you have as the Eagles coordinator, offensive coordinator, if, Kellen Moore is gone off this team? From what it looks like, it's not official yet, but it's going to get really, really close. And, yep, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes about false. Peace out, guys. Peace.